Imagine being able to fit a dovetail joint together with millimetre precision. Being able to build brick walls that are perfectly plumb, level and true. Make accurate joints in copper and heavy steel pipes cleanly and quickly. Weld a complex technical workpiece to a specification that would challenge a Japanese car manufacturer. And imagine cutting and dyeing hair in a complicated contemporary style that you've only just been introduced to.
Okay, competitors, you're halfway through. You've got 1 hour and 15 minutes remaining.
Now imagine doing these things against the clock, against others, under constant scrutiny. That's what these young people can do. They're Britain's best at vocational trades, and they can produce work of a standard that would challenge people with a lifetime's experience. They're in competition for places in the UK team at WorldSkills 2007, the International Skills Olympics taking place in Japan in November.
I don't know what's gone wrong with this one. This can't get full marks.
It was a Michelin dish, definitely. You know, it was.
It's probably one of the best dishes I've seen.
It was good.
This was absolutely superb.
Only the best will win places in the team. These young people are on a journey which will bring both emotional highs and crushing disappointment. But it's a journey which will demonstrate that skills criminally undervalued in Britain for a generation can be a springboard for achievement and self-belief in some of the most inspirational young people in the country.
Are you pretty good at what you do?
Like to think so, yeah. I think
definitely.
I think everyone who's here
Yeah, it's good at it, brilliant though. Or
Well,
you wouldn't be here.
yeah, proves we're the best in the country already.
I get told I'm very good. I feel kind of moderate. I always feel like I can improve, so I don't want to be too big-headed.
I do really think I've got the potential to get to Japan and also compete, not just turn up, but to compete for first place. And I know I can do it. I know I've got it up here, and I know I've got it in here, that I can do it.
WorldSkills is held every 2 years. It's a unique event where young people under 22 from over 40 countries compete for gold medals. Its aim is to raise the standards of vocational skills and training throughout the world. For the competitors, it's an opportunity to get a fantastic learning experience, testing themselves against technical standards that are sky high. They experience high-level training and personal development, which can help get them into top jobs. And some bring back gold for Britain.
Which of course leads the gold medal to get to the United Kingdom to Blair Andrews.
UK Skills organises the British bid for glory. It sees properly organised competitions as positive vehicles for developing skills and learning for work.
Competitions, whether they're, if you like, soft or pretty tough, do raise standards, and they do it in a tangible way. If you've got competition design right, you've got good judges, you've got proper assessment criteria, proper marking schemes, proper appeal processes, proper feedback, you have got tangible standards, and people know what to aim for.
Competition is a feature of the world in which we operate. Companies compete on their productivity. Productivity depends on skills, and in that basis, countries really compete on the quality and coverage of the education and training system. This is really at the heart of the economic challenge facing every country in the world.
The selection event for the WorldSkills team took place in Warwickshire in February. It was designed to mirror the kind of pressures the competitors will face in Japan. Challenging technical standards had to be reached during the 3 days of intensive competition. To the victor the spoils. Winning the selection event means a place in the UK team.
We would like to take you, Donna, to Japan 2007. So well done.
Well, you know, there's only one can go, so congratulations, Jonathan.
Sophie, it's no, because you're not ready. Graham, take you in 2007.
It's going to be an extremely difficult, this one. congratulations to Chris.
I'm afraid that we won't be able to take you, Heidi. You're it.
We're going to Japan.
Well done, lads.
You're in too. Don't blow it. So congratulations. Well done. Well done.
For those who fail to get through, a long journey home. It's November 2006 and the competitor's journey starts at the Brathay Training Centre in the Lake District. Brathay is an educational charity established in the 1940s to boost the development of young people in industry. UK Skills got together 60 hopefuls, many of whom are national or regional champions in their particular skill, for a weekend of team building and personal development. They may be pretty good now, but they've got to get a lot better if they're to stand any chance of winning in Japan.
The essential purpose of these weekends is to take young people who everybody recognises are best in the country, across the UK, and to take them into something which is beyond their experience and to put them into a very different environment in which we can actually begin to show them what it means to be the best in the world.
They're really good with their hands at the moment. They've got a massive skill set with their hands, but they haven't necessarily got their heads sorted out and what goes on inside their heads and what goes on inside their hearts as well. So their motivation, how they do planning, what do they do if they make a mistake, how do they recover from that, how do they go about focusing their attention 100% for as long as possible. They haven't got that skill set yet. So what we're doing at Brathay is we're really starting to get them to look inside themselves, and for some of them that's really, really challenging because they know how to lay bricks, they know how to cut wood, but actually starting to look inside their head is actually really scary for them.
One of the early sessions is designed to make the competitors think about their learning preferences and the different approaches that can be used. Are they reflective, passive or activist in their learning?
Will there be opportunities to listen to other people's points of view? Fairly wide cross selection of people. I think that'll be a reflector.
Young people not used to being analytical about learning are encouraged to collaborate in teams. They're all under the age of 22, but competitors still at college rub shoulders with those who are in full-time employment.
Yeah, but a reflector would listen more than an hour at a stretch.
We were having a look at learning preferences and the fact that individuals will have areas of the learning cycle that they prefer to be operating in. So, for example, people who really like to get stuck into activities versus people that like to sit back a little bit more and reflect on things, etc., etc. So what we were really wanting the competitors to do was to gain an awareness of where their preference is in that, and in terms of going forward, what part of the learning circle they might need to really work on in order to get the most out of the training programme. How do you think you can use this in terms of UK skills, world skills, Japan 2007?
Our training manager might not be an activist like me, he might be a theorist, which I'm really not, but we've got to adapt and meet halfway for us to all be the best. We've got to meet 50-50.
What we've been sort of working on is really just not putting too much pressure on them at these sort of early stages. And the purpose of that is that we can then really see them for themselves rather than them pretending to be somebody that they're not.
You will be marked on if the colour's right at the back, if the colour's right on the side, etc. Okay?
UK Skills allocate each skill category with a training manager recruited from FE, higher education or from industry. They will work with the competitors to raise their skill levels ever higher. But the training managers themselves are on a learning curve, as they have to coach already very able students towards excellence in performance.
Their role very much is to almost liberate the skills of the competitor. To use our jargon, spring loose the resourcefulness of the competitor. And by that we mean everybody's resourceful. Everybody has the inability to go further, to take one step more. And using coaching, we're encouraging the training managers to help them do that.
A team of training managers have been given a rubber inner tube and have to get themselves through it. Like the competitors, they're put outside their comfort zone by the Brede trainers.
The rest of us leap through. When they're all through, we drop down, and we've got to decide who goes through first. You go first. I go first.
What traditionally happens is that the training managers are used to working in more of a push style of coaching.
We'll do the two. We'll all roll through, and when we're all through, do when you take our two places.
So that's more about directing and telling their learners how to do it, which is what they're used to doing in their professional roles, most of them. What we're trying to encourage the training managers to do is explore what it means to pull their learners, and by that use more facilitative styles of coaching. So actually questioning more, exploring the issues with them more, and allowing the learner to really understand and explore what it means for them. So from a coach's perspective, how did you find the coaching?
Very difficult. Just used to telling. You know, you don't get the right feedback, you give the answer.
Yeah. Coaching is very subconscious, and we don't really know we're being coached. It might be a little comment that you make that then it becomes our idea, but you don't quite know whether it was. We don't know if it's our idea or we were good coaching.
Is that not good to let the competitor think that it's their idea sometimes, because they take it on board then, don't they? They take ownership of it.
Yolanda's point is exactly it, and that's the key of pull coaching. Okay, you're not giving instruction. Now you guys are all used to giving instruction. You're used to telling, you're used to that push style of coaching, yeah? And what you've just experienced is, as a coach's perspective, how difficult it is to pull coach. Yeah, it's frustrating, you don't feel you're contributing, you don't feel you're giving them the answers, because invariably that's what you're used to doing.
The training manager's session runs in parallel with a product assembly exercise for the competitors.
I've got 15 pieces of these wood to put together. That'll only go together one way. Competitors were given a written brief and a very specific diagram.
That's the smallest lot, and then that's a bigger one.
We've got that one the right way round.
So try it the other way round.
Yeah, that's the long one, that's a sharp one.
So they then had to work out how to put all these bits together and then work out a methodology to put together more effectively.
First one was about 6 minutes, and now it's a minute. Now we've got to get it down more, I think.
It's a bit like going to World Skills, you get one opportunity to perform. On your marks, get set, go! They are very good at breaking tasks down into certain, the little bits.
Oh, stop.
27.93 seconds.
First one ever. I hate losing. Like, I strive to be the best at something. Like, everything that I do in cooking respects, I wouldn't do something unless I knew that I could win it.
Go! Now, at present, the competitors are doing really well, but they won't know that they could break it down even further. They think they've reached that standard, which is a bit like, at the moment, they're the best in the UK, and they only see their work as being the best in the UK, because they don't know what a different standard would look like, what a better standard would look like. But they just cannot get their heads around that it's possible to do that yet, without really looking at their processes, breaking things down.
Okay, guys, so you've done the exercise.
Time for some pull coaching to get the time down.
Are you all happy that you know what you've got to achieve with this?
I think our method's right. We just need to tweak the way we move together, the way we all come together, so we don't cross each other's paths.
What are you've got to do differently, do you think? What are
Get
your
it
options?
right first, put it in the right places.
Okay, what other options have you got to get this right?
Maybe put another person on my bit and I jump over someone else, because I think I'm slowing everyone down a bit.
Enough practice. Are they anywhere near fast enough to achieve a world-class performance?
You've done really well so far. British standard is under 30 seconds. World-class standard is under 20 seconds. The fastest I have seen this exercise done was by Honda F1 Racing Team, the pit crew, in 5.5 seconds. So that's world-class. That is really the top. Go.
Amazingly, after just 2 hours practice, they're close to the best times ever.
9.79.
9.79 seconds. The competitors come from a range of backgrounds, and their education and training experience reflects the broad range of routes into vocational skills. But whether it's BTEC, City and Guilds or NVQs, they all excel in their chosen skills. skills they've come to in many different ways.
I always knew I wanted to do something practical when I left school. I didn't want to be sort of office job, that sort of stuff. I started a metalwork apprenticeship and sort of found that a bit hard going, and then sort of dropped back on the carpentry. And I wasn't sure if I'd like it at first, but the first couple of years seemed to go really well. And yeah, just been sort of trying to get everything out of it that I can.
Floristry was something that was brought to my attention when I got a Saturday job. I saw this lady making a big structured design and I thought, gosh, yeah, that's what I want to do, you know.
I wasn't sure toying between plastering and bricklaying, but I went and to a careers advisor, found out about more about bricklaying, and I thought I'd give it a go, and I started my MVQs, and from there on I just realised that I really did like it, you know, and I really enjoyed it.
I've never been the sort of person that can sit down and write and that sort of thing, so I've always felt like I need to work with my hands. So I did my work experience at a garage and then applied for an apprenticeship and got an apprenticeship with Honda.
Although they're all highly skilled, they'll have to produce a huge increase in the level of performance to compete for medals in Japan. At the moment, they have little idea of the leap in speed and accuracy necessary.
If they were going to do a world skills test piece now, they'd probably get a mark against world skills standards of about 50–55%. To get a medal, they've got to be at nearly 90%, 95% in some trades, and that's a huge ask. The training manager's job really is to help them develop their skill set, which is about driving down the time. So if a task takes them 15 minutes at the moment to cut a dovetail joint, well, they need to drive that down to 5 minutes, but at the same time they need to get from 50% accuracy up to 90 to 100% accuracy.
At the heart of the process is the relationship between competitors and their training managers. UK Skills employ the Braille experts to help refine and facilitate this relationship. They work with both to bring out the best in learner and teacher, or in this case, coach.
I'm hoping it's going to be useful to you as well. No, absolutely.
What we're using is a straightforward model on coaching, which is called GROW. Establishing what the goal is, how could you do that differently? What will you do differently? And it's using questions, it's using open questions to do that.
What did you learn from that, though?
Yeah, you sat back and you wrote down exactly what you knew you had to do.
It's not focused on their skills at all. We're not referring to laying bricks at the moment. We're doing activities, which we're then pulling out the learning out of them different activities, and then looking at the processes they use, and then transferring the processes into their trades.
Why not call a meeting?
The Braille team helped refine GROW performance coaching by using open discussions with competitors and training managers.
We started looking at how you would want some of that feedback or advice to be given. Is that something that's come into your conversations yet?
We went to the dinner hall, the canteen. We were supposed to be coached, but it wasn't actually, he didn't say, right now I'm coaching you. You kind of just ask questions, see how comfortable you are, and then you feel more comfortable because you don't feel like you have to sit there and actually trying to take on board and you're trying to cram it in. You can just talk and how you feel, how's it going, and then you realise that it's actually coaching, it actually helps you.
Training managers have to identify subtleties in the way that young people learn.
The lad who I trained last time who won the gold medal, he took everything on board, but sometimes you didn't think he was listening, but he was taking everything on board. And other ones, it's like, yeah, you want to get on the next bit, and really a lot of it isn't going in. And as a training manager, it's recognising what actually does go in.
So, welcome to this afternoon's session. This afternoon's session is going to be about something called NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, and we'll tell you more about that in a little while. Now is a particularly crap time to start working with you because you've just had your lunch. It'd be nice to kind of sit back and chill out. So what we're going to do is a little energizer. Go! A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Now you're experts in what you do. We're not going to be telling you how to do that any better, but what we might be able to do is kind of raising the performance in terms of what's going on in here.
NLP sessions employed open discussions to tease out the competitors' positive and negative learning experiences.
Last year in the national final competition in Glasgow, I'm doing a certain piece, and the areas that I've done to it, I've
misinterpreted the way it's been read on the sheet, and maybe it was about 2 hours' time that you spent doing this, and you turn around and you look and you think, where's gone wrong? And you realise you've basically got to wash the whole panel back off. Do you think? And that's 2 hours down the drain, and you just sort of, your head just goes down.
You said about your head down, and I kind of saw your hand go up at this point, and it looked as though you were almost sort of reliving that for a moment. Can you capture any more about that time of realisation of it's 2 hours down the drain?
When you're doing competition, I know myself, I'm doing competition, I've got an adrenaline rush like nothing else when I'm doing it. You think about nothing else, and as soon as you notice it just went from that down, it just hit rock bottom. You just feel something sink.
Where was this feeling?
Up here, really. And it's just, you think, your head goes down, you think, and you just stop.
That's fascinating, the amount of stuff that you've just recalled there, feelings. Actually, I know what it's like to have that string cut.
Dawn on the banks of Lake Windermere. It's a 3-line whip for fitness training. The competitors have to be fit in mind and body. And of course they loved the early start.
All right, if you could all come onto the grass, please.
The majority of them don't do a huge amount of exercise, so the first time we actually took them out running, they really struggled. They tend to have a really strong upper body, but they aren't able to last very long periods of time at a lower intensity.
If your leg is shaking, that's your wee muscle fibres hanging on for dear life.
Knackered. Yeah, I agree.
Because it's a 4-day competition and they're needing to last over the period of time, we've found traditionally on day 2, they're absolutely struggling, they're shattered. So we're trying to improve the cardiovascular to allow them to last.
Front leg straight, bend the knee.
The fitness level of the training managers needs a bit of a hike too, by the look of things.
I got the opportunity.
Polar explorer and mountaineer Polly Murray was invited to give an inspirational talk on how she found the passion and motivation to climb Mount Everest.
So, the death zone, it's 26,000 feet, and it's not a place that humans are supposed to be, because spending any time here, your body is dying. But when you get to a point like this, it all makes sense, or it does for me anyway. And this is one of my most favourite shots, because it's just, no one's been there, it's us, and that is the top of the world. They're all top of their trades and what they're doing, so hopefully I've given them encouragement to show them what I can do and that they can do the same.
Obviously intense wedge it there.
So a hectic weekend during which the young people learned a lot about their fellow competitors, their training managers, and about themselves comes to a close.
Hands together! Hands together! Tongues out! Oh, if only we had a camera now. Well done, folks.
On behalf of UK Skills, can I say we're already really proud of you, and we've learnt a lot from you this time, and thank you for that.
UK Skills asked the competitors to formalise their commitment by signing a contract.
This is a contract. It is a sign that you're taking World Skills really seriously.
Warts and all feedback from everyone involved.
I'm surprised that so many didn't like the exercise. I thought that was a bit of a high for me anyway.
Fond farewells ahead of 3 months' preparation before the team selection, where it'll be winner takes all.
It's different to what we used to do in the other competitions.
It's more about preparing yourself for the next stage of level up.
We've kind of learnt practical stuff, like, for example, the way we learn well. And, so whether we're visual people, whether we're thinkers, whether we're theorists, activists. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. You don't kind of get time to consider that, really.
And they kind of tell you to be a bit of all four, you know? I never really thought about that.
I've learned a lot about how to learn new things, how to learn in different techniques and styles, and how different people learn, like the IT guys and the hairdressers.
I definitely learned a huge amount about myself there. I would not have known. I mean, you just kind of push it to the limits. It was through wind and rain. It's definitely been emotional.
Yeah.
In the next programme, the competitors travel to Warwickshire, where their skills will be tested over 3 days of competition to select the UK team for World Skills. 9 sites, 60 competitors, but only one winner in each skill category.
Really, it's not about them competing against each other. It's about them competing against the test piece, against the project. One who's going to go through is the one who's best understood that.
General view of him.
General view, I'd say he's probably the best competitor I've seen in my experience of World Skills so far.
That's my decision. Are you happy with that?
Numerically, he's the highest, but when you come to mark the stuff, it's all right.
Okay. We would like to take you to Japan. Thank you. Your ears, okay? You've done really well, but Natalie just had the edge.
Yes. All it's been is the 2 extra years of age. That's all it's come down to in the end.